Well, I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't like the staff not informing this commission or any other commission of what was going on. Well, we're in for a pound, we're in for $8 million, $13 million, or whatever the total cost of this project is going to be. And I mean everything. I mean the building, the infrastructure, the sewer, the water, everything. I think you said 13 million. What are we going to do, walk away now? It's senseless to say don't approve this request. We're halfway done. I have been beating my brains over that beach for 20 years, way before we got $5 million from the county in bond money. We had a plan for double the size at $17 million with everything done. It had turtle lights in it because the planning board was involved from the very beginning with the planning of the building. They made the planning board the task force that came up with the building, and then they added 9 or 10 more members to that task force. Commissioners, you don't know how to build a commercial building. I don't know how this plan ever got planning board approval without somebody saying, you're going to need turtle lights. Where is your lighting schematic? Where is your water schematic? How are you going to keep the water on site? I have never stood before a commission that knew how to do a commercial building. Please, please approve the outside and turn it over to the planning department and let them do what every commercial builder has to do in this town. They bring in everything: lighting, water, building, landscaping, and it has to be approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Hill, followed by Austin Brookley. Mike Hill left. Austin Brookley, followed by Erica Whitfield.
Austin Brookley, Recreation Advisory Board. It's often asked to me why young people don't get involved in politics more. And clearly, 30 years later, a seawall and turtle lights are going to halt this project. You know why. This is absolutely ridiculous. You guys, we're already this far into it. We have to just go ahead and complete the project. I mean, it's, as Nick Boyd said, it's disappointing some things were not included in the project, but at the same time, we're trying to cut our budget. I find it disappointing as a citizen that it's even up for discussion not completing the project when we spent, I know the CRA helped us out with $7.3 million on 10th Avenue and 6th Avenue. It's a simple decision. It's $15 million, and that's all I have to say. I mean, go ahead, pass the bill as it is. And while young people may not be involved in politics, we know how to vote with the number.
Thank you.
Erica Whitfield, followed by Patricia Oliphant.
Good evening. My name is Erica Whitfield, 133 Duke Drive. I came here tonight because I want to represent people who don't normally come. I have a really difficult time coming to these meetings, as I know a lot of people do. Really involved in the city in the ways that I can be. And in addition to that, I'm a wife and a mom of a 4-year-old. And so it's challenging to be at these meetings. So I just wanted to encourage you guys to really think about the people who aren't here. The families out there, everyone who has to work full time, that these meetings are difficult. I know you guys work too, and it's difficult for you to give your time, and I appreciate what you do, but consider that the people out there would really like to see a beach. And it's unfortunate, and things, you know, there's been hurt feelings, and there's been a lot of problems, but as a mom, I know we really just have to kind of move forward from where we are right now. You know, try to forget about all the problems that we've gotten us to this point, and think about Lake Worth and how we can make it so that we move forward from here and make it the best place to be. I love it here. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people who don't come to these meetings love it here. And when I bring my family here and when I go out to the beach, I want to show them something great. So that's what I really hope you are able to do tonight. Thanks so much.
Patricia Oliphant, followed by Herman Robinson.
Patricia has a card to be read.
She wants, oh, sorry. Doesn't, no, it doesn't.
2 cards because she put a card in right here, so I'll come back up.
First looks like another one. Okay, spend the 1.5 million, get the job done. Stop risking losing it all. This is our city's most important project. Finish it. Don't risk having the county withdraw its overextended offer of $5 million. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. We put in infrastructure for Publix and Park of Commerce. Put it in for us. Herman Robinson, followed by Ed DeVoe.
I'm Herman Robinson from Ocean Breeze. I'm here to help you CYA on moving forward with the beach. If there's any doubt that the majority of the public wants this thing done, I hope you get it tonight. That we're looking forward to it. We're more than a little pregnant with it already. We need to, whether it's certainly obvious that things aren't going to satisfy everybody, but we need to move forward. The thing that concerns me most is the trust and the confidence between the people that are truly intimately involved with this. I hope that the communication and the trust really improve. This is not a phased-in project. There's maybe a couple parts to it, but if we start talking about phasing, the whole thing needs to be finished to get the income that the building hopefully is going to create. If we're slogging around with landscaping and the finished building is finished, nobody's going to show up. What else did I put down? Let's not embarrass ourselves with the county by asking for any extension. That's it. Please vote for it unanimously, and let's solve the problems that have been created to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Ed DeVoe, followed by Michael Singer.
Ed is already done 6 South Harlem. Ed is already done 6 South Harlem. First of all, I like to say, you're too far, you can't go back, you have to go forward. But they make their way to look at it from a different aspect. You said there was $400,000 projected in the budget, right? Well, I thought you said that. Well, I saw this, and I saw a budget for $1,300,000. So there's $400,000 that was an add on this. They asked for $1 million for the infrastructure, but you already got $400,000 set aside. There's another $400,000 gain in my book. Another thing, Kimberly Horn said 95% of the plans was completed in, I believe, April. Organic with the contract in April. No, Organic with the contract in May. So they had to know about the infrastructure. I mean, in Kimberly Horn's drawing, because I looked at it, it plainly says they're going to raise 2 feet. That means you're going to change the drainage. There is no possible way in anybody's mind to miss it. I'd rather them to tell us the truth, say, we didn't have enough money in the budget, so we have to increase the cost, than to go back and say, we missed it. There's no possible way tonight that you can sit there and tell me you missed it. Now, moving forward is, I looked at, you should ask for a line of itemized item, knowing what you're going to get for your $1.6 million. I looked at their proposals from their subcontractors. Third grade people could fill it out. You don't know what you get for that $1.6 million. You need to have an itemized line item moving forward. So they can't come back here and say,
Michael Singer, followed by Jason Brager.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate those last comments too, and I would mirror them in a certain way. As you know, my studio was asked to spend the last week, and we did, as a volunteer effort, to look and examine the details of the GMP documents provided to all of you just the week before. I don't agree with the city manager about the risk of the county removing the money from this project. We spoke with the Parks Department head. He's willing to speak to any of the commissioners, or certainly anyone in the public. So is your County Commissioner Shelley Vanna, about the risks involved in moving forward with this project. We looked this week, and thank you for authorizing us to get the bid document. We've looked at several items. We're willing to talk to you about that. There's not enough time in 2 minutes. But very quickly, we found items that are in many cases twice the amount by going to contractors in this area to get their bid and gave them as much information as possible. Mayor, I agree with you that your campaign manager promises to get things done on budget. You can. This project will go forward. You don't need to make it go forward immediately. You need, I would suggest, as I said in my memo, to take some time. Give Morganti 10 days to come back to you and negotiate with them about, number one, their exorbitant fees, which we have seen and shown to you based on documents that the county has given us, Treasure Coast Regional Planning on projects, based on quotes that we have gotten. Go to the parks, talk to them about getting an extension to do more bidding to get better prices, and I assure you, you will find all of the design available to you, and you will move forward. And I'm glad to answer more questions as you discuss this. Thank you.
I would actually like to offer you the same courtesy that we offered Mr. Spruce, since he was involved in the project and you were also involved in the project, to go back and forth with us and with you in regards to questions, so that everything is fair.
Did you want to answer those questions now?
I just didn't know if there were any questions that we had. I wanted to give you the opportunity to speak longer if there was another point that you wanted to address.
Well, I mean, my associate Jason Bregman has been doing the research this week. I'd appreciate it if he could speak with you and answer any of your questions and also make his statement.
Okay.
Thank you. Jason.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. This has been a wild project. It's been 3 years. People are asking about the sea turtle, and I'm going to assume I have more than 3 minutes, so I don't have to rush through like I did 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I sat in that room and asked staff back then, none of the people who are here today, half the commission's not the same or more than that, about what was the use at night. And at the time in 2009 with that report, the casino was not on the table. The casino project was not on the table. It was not under consideration. We were told by county parks to draw a line around that building and do not include it. Dennis Eshelman, the head of parks at the time, was in a meeting with us, and he said, I am not in favor of private buildings in public parks, and I don't want to spend a penny on the infrastructure for it. That meant the lighting's to support it at night. That meant the utilities to put in all that electrical underground that's currently included in this budget. That meant any additional upgrades to the water. Michael Spruce designed that water. I sat with him the whole entire time. That $280,000 that you asked about, that is the water that's necessary for the park, not necessary for the casino. The sewer line, they didn't want to hear about. So when you take out all of those utility pieces, and you take out that lighting piece, and that $90,000, that was for little teeny bollards, just dotted along the waterfront, sea turtle friendly. We mentioned them in 2009. They were just there as accent lighting as people were leaving the beach late in the day. They're never intended to light this thing. So if you're wondering why you're this amount over, it's because of those utilities and because of that lighting. Just take all that stuff out, like you said, Commissioner Maxwell, and you're very close to the budget. But you're not quite at the budget, are you? Right? Because you have other things that are affecting it. The seawall is one of them. But you have other things that are affecting it as well. And remember, the only reason why you're close to the budget when you take those things out is because when you take those things out and you take out the things that have been value engineered out of the project, that's when you get closer to the budget that you're overall looking for, $5 million minus the design fees. So that's where we're really at right now. And we can't speak to the utilities being brought in about the casino. We didn't think the casino building was a good idea, but we stayed out of it. It wasn't our job. So we continue to stay out of it. But the infrastructure that's been put on this project to then say the project is way over budget, Michael Spruce didn't do his job, or Kimley Horn didn't do their job, or we didn't do our job, is just not accurate. Now what I can tell you is that based on our conversations about a week and a half ago you asked Morganti to provide more information about the project, detailed bids, detailed quotes, and we have done our best to provide this information to you in memo form. Documenting, we believe their fees are high. They disagree, that they have the right. We all have our opinions. We all have a right to show things. We documented ours with data. We give you a clear breakdown and chart, whether you agree with it or not, it's up to you. We've also documented that line item 6, the carpentry line item, we found 13 to 18% savings using better materials, FSC certified wood, and better stainless steel that won't corrode on the beach, and it's still less in cost. We found steel and metals in line item 5 to be about half the cost of what they were showing. Granted, it's not a lot of money because there's not a lot of metal in the project, because we intentionally designed it with very little metal. The cable railing, in the end, we believe we got a quote that's, even with replacing all of the posts, would still be less than half the Morganti quote. The reason why we did this for you, rushed and got all of our contacts and did this and reviewed all the quotes that were provided is because we thought you asked us to. So we provided this information to you. Based on the information we provided and the fees that we believe are high, we think there's at least $300,000 in savings in this thing that you guys can negotiate out of this. And we think that really definitely would go to things that have been taken out that Kathleen didn't mention, like 2 trellises and 1 pavilion that were along the beachfront that will provide critical shade before those trees grow in. Really important. So there's a number of other things that have been taken out of the project that we didn't discuss. We mentioned all the solar, wind, and cisterns. Maybe they can be added in. The landscaping was reduced. And when your public is out there looking at some of the nice walkways that were created and find out that they're primarily just concrete rather than pavers and nice walkway surfaces, or even decorative concrete, and the reason why they're so plain is because they've been taken out. The irrigation, I believe, is still not dripped, Commissioner Boyd. You know, if the benches are reduced, yeah, I mean, maybe we should just leave the old benches. I would never normally agree with you because we think that there's too many rusty metal in there. They're solid concrete and we got a really good price for them, but as they keep getting reduced, their price keeps going up because they keep reducing. So the price keeps going up. The railing will still be the same old railing that you have now. And one critical thing, and if there's any one little thing you could add back in this project that we think would cost very little, it would just be the binder in the recycled stone fines that are throughout the project, because I promise you that when the wind comes and you have recycled stone fine dust from concrete dust blowing in your citizen's face, you will not want that. So we specifically were asked to put that binder in, and we presented it to Morganti. It's a really small thing, so at the very least, ask them to do that. One last thing is, and this is mentioned in our memo to you, is, you know, as we reviewed the quotes, we asked for transparency. Morganti sent a memo stating that you provided a lot of transparency. But this is your asphalt and earthwork and paving quote, line item 2B. And Ed, you're absolutely right. A kid could have filled this out. There's very little information here. There's one page in here that has real information. That's this page. And this guy's not the low bidder, so his information doesn't matter that much. This is the low bid on this line item is $1.6 million. And you only have 2 equivalent quotes on this. Your contract requires 3. Now they do have 3 quotes, but one of them doesn't meet the criteria of the entire 2B package. So we think at a minimum they should be asked to come back with more quotes on asphalt and paving. And you asked us to look at this, so we've done our best to do it, and I'm sorry if we haven't done it fast enough or well enough. We've worked our best we can on this project, and we don't think that you should not take the beach project. We don't think that you should, you know, give this opportunity up. But we think you should, as we wrote in our recommendation, ask Kathleen to talk to the county about a potential extension. And at the same time, ask Morganti to really look at their numbers, squeeze those fees, and see if they can come back with something more reasonable in 10 days. And then if that can't happen in 10 days, then maybe pursue an option with the county to get a 60-day extension and hard bid this job out. Morganti definitely doesn't want to hear that, but that's the pressure they need to hear so that maybe you can get some of these amenities back in the job. $300,000 would give you both of those trellises, pavilion, more landscaping, benches back in, all sorts of great stuff for your community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
And we allowed staff to address